Hey guys, it's Ed again, and we're gonna take a tire off, or wheel off. The tire's already taken off, so let's get this sucker out of here. I got the nut loose and I got the chain off, so we're just gonna pull the axle hopefully and get this sucker out of here. Is there spacers? Looks like there's a spacer on this side, so we're gonna have to get the brake rod off. Now we're gonna get the nut off here, hopefully. And not sure what size it is. Bigger than that, isn't it? 14 millimeter, maybe. Oh yeah, she's stiff, but she's coming. We'll get this out of here. Get the brake shaft off. I could have pulled the other little pin, but I think this might be the faster way to go. Let's see what else is holding us. Oh, the brake stay. Down here on the bottom, there's a brake stay to keep the hub from spinning around. Need to get that out of the way. And then we've got the back wheel. So, all ready to be cleaned up a little bit and put a tire on. Wow, they greased the Cajundes out of that. So that's we'll clean some of the grease out of that. We don't need all that grease. It's a little extra greasy. So let's go clean up this wheel and get it ready for putting the turr on. So I'm not sure how true this wheel is going to be. I noticed there are a couple broken spokes here, so theoretically it probably should be relaced. I see a missing spoke here, so she's probably not going to be the truest thing in the world, but it'll be a wheel and a tire I think she'll hold. So you get the idea. Round and around we go, clean her up as best we can. So basically I just got an old car inner tube here, and we're going to cut some stripes out of it here and see if we can make something to go around that rim. And it doesn't have to be pretty, it just has to get the job done. So I'm going to follow, I think, one of these lines here. Not sure this plan's going to work, but we'll give her the old college try. And you guys know what the circumference of a 14-inch diameter circle is? Isn't that pi r squared, or apple pie, pumpkin pie? As long as it's got pi, right? I don't know. I'm just babbling. But you guys get the idea. I'm just slicing about an inch wide chunk out of this and seeing how this is going to go. Okay, we'll just give it a kind of an estimate here to see if we're close. I'd say about another foot or so with this. We can stretch it too. Is that a foot? It's a foot somewhere, right? And whack this down through here. Oh, she got a little narrow there. That's okay. There. So now we got a strip of rubber. We'll put that on here. Oh, that's beautiful. That looks custom. Wrap it around. That's almost perfect. Look at that. Feels like I purposely did that. So I should have probably got some tape out first. Well, you know, I'm always last to think of something here. Rip that in half. I'm not sure. Let's make sure we don't have any twists in it. We probably do. Nope, we're good. We'll pull it a little tight. Not real tight, just a little tight. Put a piece of tape to kind of hold it together. Work this in there a little better. I mean, I'm okay with it. I think it'll do what it needs to do. I would like to move it over a touch, if I can. There we go. That looks better. It's cooperating here, so we'll keep moving it. What do you think about that? I think that looks pretty snazzy. Like I purposely built that. And that'd probably be enough to hold it, but let's overkill. I'd say that's probably enough. Go all the way around. We'll rip that tape in half. We'll go around it again. And of course, I ended up a little short. That's okay. Go about half of that length. Put that one in half. There. I like it. That covers up them spokes. Push the tape down. A little tough today. It's cold. And not as cold as it could be, but it's a little chilly out. So I think that rim's about ready to get a tire fought onto it. We'll see how hard that goes. Okay, so tire's been sitting by the pellet stove all night. It's pretty flexible. Tube's been there too. So we've got the rubber duct tape insulator to keep it from poking holes in it. Now all we got to do is find the valve stem hole, which is right there. If I can find my knife. Okay, we got it. So where is it? It's right there. Let me stab it with a screwdriver. Then I know I'll hit it. There. X marks the spot. Kind of morphed in here. Tube fits, believe it or not, so we're good there. Goes through the hole. So the way I do this is I no means am I a professional, but we'll take the blade down on the table saw on my workbench today. We wrestle it on there. So the first one's easy because you're not dealing with the tube. And so let me see if I got a little grease down here, because that might make life a little easier. So I do have a little grease down here. We'll put a little bit of that on there. Not a ton. Just enough maybe to help with this project. Then you get too much on it and then it's too slimy. So you're kind of stuck if you do and you don't. So, but a little lubrication never hurt. So, okay. Looks better. Okay. I really do need a rag down here. Got some of these little shop towels. That'll work. Okay. So, flip that sucker over and hope for the best. So you don't want it to go too far down over. And being that we're working with this rim, I'm just going to try to work it a little at a time. Too much. Okay, we're getting there. Good. Doing well. I'm going to get a little harder here. But I think we're halfway on. So now we got half of it on there. Now what we got to do is we got to spread her open here and massage the tube in. So let's see if we can get that to cooperate and line the tube up with the, not the missing spokes right there. So that's where the tube goes in. So let's massage that in there. Looks like right there. Sometimes if you fold it in half, you might be able to get it in there a little easier. Sometimes it doesn't matter. It's just wrestling. So. Spine tingling video, eh? Best one you've seen today? Maybe we'll fast forward. So now the valve stem is in the hole where we can get a hold of it. And now the hard part. This is where I always screw it up and end up poking a hole in the tube. So we're going to try not to do that this time. So again, I'm going to put a little grease on it just to kind of help a little bit. sliding it over. And then so I've got a Phillips screwdriver, a big ugly one, that isn't too sharp. So I'm going to start with that one, I think. See if I maybe use a straight one to get it up off the rim. And get my Phillips in here. Not too far. Okay, just to get it started. And then what I use is a regular wrench. And then I try to use that to get up in here and work it around. So let me see if I got slightly a thinner one. That might be the way to go. If I do, I don't know. So I got a thin wrench here, and it's smooth. Pittsburgh, you know, Harbor Freight, they're very smooth. So that might be enough to help get her up and over. Once you get it started, I think you can work it off. The grease is seeming to help a little. I do feel the tube in there, so I'm trying to work around that. One more and I think I can get that screwdriver out. I think she'll stay now. Going pretty good so far. Let's jinx it. Oh, I see the tube coming up and over, I think. That was the tube. Hope it wasn't. Okay. Now the stretch. Try to keep it down in the center of the rim if you can. Try to get a hook in here. Oh yeah, this is going to be a tough one. Come on, baby. Oh. Boy, she's tight. Slid right on the other way. I got that wrench stuck in there, that's for sure. Come on, baby. Come on. Give me back my wrench. Come on. That is stuck in there. Okay. I'm going to go with the flat screwdriver. I don't want to, but we're going to try to be careful. Okay, she's on her way now. Just barely get under the edge. Come on. Jump on there. There. We got her jumped on. So hopefully we did not hurt the tube. And we'll put a little air to it and see what we got. Okay? So So what I did was I inflated it a little. I'm going to let some of the air out. Make sure that it's not pinching on anything. It sounded good, so I did hear it kind of move the tube around a little bit. let the air out a little bit. Make sure that we're not catching in the rim or nothing. And we'll hit her again. Put some more air in her this time. I'm not hearing any leaks. Tire's good and hard. I think it looks pretty good. So we'll go with that. We do have some, I did bring up some steel wool. Give it a little polish in here. I did wire wheel some of the rust. Well, I figure we'll hit it with the steel wool a little. That'll polish up what little bit we have of chrome. The wheel isn't terribly bad. I've got a lot worse. So it's not the ugliest thing I've ever seen. The more chances you got to clean her up, and it's going to look a little better. So, I think that looks pretty good. Let's clean up that cover, or the brake cover, and get her back together. And then we'll have a roller. Okay, let's put her all back together again. Got the wheel. That goes this way. Then we got the hub. And that goes this way. And then there's a spacer already stuck here to the back of the frame here, and some ton of grease. Little short one. And then there's a long one that goes on this side. So let's try to wrestle everything back together. I think we can get rid of this rubber thing I was using. May have to push up on the, put this in the hole and get this thread on there. Good. Now we're going to have to bring the bike up because everything has dropped. This one has got the right tensioner, sort of. So I'm going to keep that one, and I'm going to get the right tensioner for the other side. I got one, actually. I just don't know where it is right now. I got one though. So let's get this big spacer through here. Now, how do we lift this bike up without knocking it off the stand? Any bright ideas, guys? If I was down cellar, I got my little floor jack, my little scissor jack. That works pretty good, but now we're back upstairs again. So we're going to have to block it up on something. One side at least. Come on, baby. Well, it's crooked, but we got her in the hole. Hey, we got her in. We did it. Not sure how, but we did it. I'm going to tighten her back down again so she doesn't jump off. That's cool. We got to get the brake stay back on. blocking out. Rid of that. Oh, there's that other one. It's a little broken. I might have to weld a piece on it, but it's okay. Come on. What the heck is stuck under here? Okay, what is there? A nut on the back side of this that I didn't know about? Probably. Something's not holding here. Must be a nut. Did not realize. There's a nut right here, but it's too big. Probably fell out somewhere. Oh, here's an old rusty nut. I think that might be the winner. Doesn't fit very good, but it looks roachy enough. I think it's just plugged up a little bit. Does this have like a nut insert in it? It does. Huh. Don't remember that, but so okay. So that's holding that on there. Now we need the brake tensioner thing. I think there's a spring that goes in here that kicks that back, if I remember correctly. But there's not one on it now. It's hitting the case, so that's definitely going to need some more adjustment, or we need to take it back a little bit on the hook here. There's plenty of pad there, but it is hitting the case. It might draw back some too, so pull it out a little bit if I can. Okay, here we go. Come on, come over. There. Draw that up a little. I'm going to find a little nut for this. I think there'll be enough to grab it. 10mm nut. Got a 10mm nut. How's the threads feel? Pretty crappy, but good enough to get the job done. Yeah, not so bad. So let's put this one on that side. I see the issue. I see why they use that. We'll have to fix that because I don't like that way. I'll show you. We got to go all the way around. Too much junk in the way that way. I just noticed it. See that? That is broke off right there. That's supposed to have a piece coming out. So this can, like a fork, like that side does. You guys see that side? See how that forks out and then that goes through it? So we got to weld a tab on here, and then we'll be able to use the proper tensioner to pull that back. I don't think I'll need to add to it because it definitely needs to come back a mile. So let's get working on that. Let's clean that crap off and see if we can weld one on there without having to take the whole wheel off. That'd be special if I could. We'll see. Update on the fiberglass covers. It is still a little sticky, not as sticky as it was, but again, the temperature is only about 30 degrees out here, and that really slows down the process of this stuff drying. You can see there's some dry patches, but then when it was really thick, like this one, I laid it in there super thick, that's going to take a while to dry. So that's where we're at with those, and we'll bring you back probably in a few days after those things harden up. Hopefully they harden. So here's the front fender and the fender mount painted. Couple coats of the Duplicolor Ford Blue, which is, like I said, a skosh dark than the original Aquarius Blue, but not too bad. So we'll get those put on in a little while. Hot. A little spot weld down there. Let's take this off and see if we can weld it on the inside. Kind of greasy. Makes a lot of popping noise. A lot of grease. That's why you should probably took it apart to clean it and weld it. But I'll hit it with the grinder and then I'll hit it again and see if that'll be enough to hold it. Okay, let's see if we can run a little better bead down through there than that popcorn thing that we just did. Sounded a little better. Still a lot of oil and grease running down out of there. Getting right in my weld. I'd like to get it from the back side if I could, but I have to take the darn wheel off to do it. I don't really want to do that. So let me run one down the side and then maybe we'll try to grind it. Okay. That should be stiff enough. I'll just clean it real quick with the grinder to take off anything to get in the way of the adjuster. And then I think we'll call it good. Okay, I think that'll work. And if it doesn't, it'll break off. And then we'll do it again. So let's, tell you what though, it's freaking hot. Come on, baby. A hot little booger. Why won't want to go in there? There. That works for me. Let's go shut the welder off.